Attend and listen, gentlemen that be of Freeburn bled. I shall tell you of a good yeoman. His name was Robin Hood. Opening lines to A Jest of Robin Hood, circa 1550. I'm Joe Bob Briggs, and I got your Robin Hood right here. The Mel Brooks comedy, Robin Hood, Men in Tights. And after that, the sword fights continue in the 1974 Ray Harryhausen flick, The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Hey, Leon.
I thought we discussed you're not doing poetry. As your agent, I've got to tell you, I think it's highly inadvisable.
I'm trying to expand my range.
You have no range.
Well, thank you very much, Leon, but it wouldn't hurt anybody to have a little bit more poetry on TV and a little less violence.
Did I hear what I just thought I heard?
You're right, I've been in L.A. too long, haven't I?
Joe Bob, get a grip on yourself, will you? You've been here for 6 weeks. Most guys here for 6 weeks are chasing after models. You're chasing after 16th century poets. Beowulf is not box office.
Well, the phone's not ringing, Leon.
And I suppose that's my fault.
It's lonely sitting around here all week.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't that lonely around here this week.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
Just give me something to do.
Joe Bob, are you under the impression that you're my only client?
No, but I think that...
It's just enough to be on my list, okay? Settled for it. Got any orange juice?
Yeah, we got orange juice, but right now I need to do the drive-in totals.
Oh, fine, I'll wait.
Okay, Carrie Elwes and Richard Lewis are both hysterical in the great 1993 parody that was kind of a comeback film for Mel Brooks, Robin Hood, Men in Tights. We have no breaths, no dead bodies, one dead pig, 3 sword fights, village burning, tongue loosening, bow and arrow sharpshooting, kung fu, suit of armor fu, gratuitous Tracy Ullman, 4 stars. And Leon, now that I think about it, I thought you were going to get Mel Brooks to be a guest on the show tonight.
Mel Brooks is a very busy man. Where's the orange juice?
Orange juice. Okay, that's much more important,
I don't like
Leon.
the kind with pulp.
Okay,
Even
fine.
a little pulp.
Would you like some orange juice as well? All right. How about an agent? Would you like an agent? You look like you need an agent.
I'm not signing anybody till after pilot season. Can you act?
Well, it just can't get much better than this, can it? Sherwood Forest rappers in green tights singing Hey Nonny Nonny, and Isaac Hayes is a wise Arab prisoner. That character, a sneeze, is a takeoff on Morgan Freeman's Azim in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And camel jockeys, praying mantis kung fu, tasteless blind jokes, and of course nothing is funnier than a good blow to the crotch, perfectly executed. Carrie Elwes has just the right touch of satire in his too goody-goody to be true Robin Hood. And speaking of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Mel Brooks got the idea for this movie after seeing Kevin Costner take a stab at Robin Hood. That was one of many Kevin Costner fiasco movies.
It wasn't such a bad picture. I had a client in that picture.
You mean you actually got one of your clients' work?
Yeah, that reminds me, Joe Bob. I got to run. Big reception over at Ice Cube's house. He's feeding Puff Daddy.
Oh, well, I wouldn't expect you to miss that.
Yeah, all the ices are going to be there tonight. Iced tea, vanilla ice, Italian ice.
You're so
Isabella
hip.
Rossellini.
Oh, great. But
Yeah.
before you go, who did you get a job in Prince of Thieves? Was it Morgan Freeman?
I steer clear of these conversations. It provokes jealousy.
Come on, I can handle it. Christian Slater.
No.
I know it wasn't Sean Connery.
No, I represent more of the up-and-comers.
Yeah, like who? What up-and-comer?
Bobby Nakamura.
Bobby Nakamura?
Yep.
Who did he play?
Villager number 3. A small but crucial role. Costner loved his work. Remember that, Joe Bob. It's all about the work. Don't forget that. It's all about the work.
Somebody tell me if I should feel better or worse. Was there even an Asian guy in Prince of Thieves? I don't think so. A stroke of genius, casting Richard Lewis as Prince John. I love this movie. When a movie has energy like this, even the corny stuff in it works. Robin Hood in Sherwood stood, hotted and hotted and hossed and shod, 4 hours he bar in his Hondas. I don't know what that means. It's from The Jest of Robin Hood. I have no idea what that means. In fact, I don't even know what The Jest of Robin Hood means. All right, this is interesting. Unlike that, I bet you guys don't know how many people have played Robin Hood. You're interested in this, right? Okay. See, there's a couple of real early ones in 1912 and 1913, but Douglas Fairbanks was the first really famous Robin Hood from the silent film made in 1922 with Wallace Beery as King Richard. You didn't know that, did you? But the quintessential Robin and the first guy to play Robin in Technicolor was, of course, Errol Flynn in The Adventures of Robin Hood from 1938. You probably knew that one. Olivia de Havilland was Maid Marian, and the horse she rode would later become Trigger of Roy Rogers fame, which means that that horse was ridden by two Robin Hoods because Roy Rogers played Robin Hood in a Western Robin in the 40s. He and Gene Autry both made singing cowboy Robin Hood flicks, Robin Hood of the Pecos and Robin Hood of Texas. In 1958, Daffy Duck played Robin Hood in Robin Hood Daffy. Woody Woodpecker played Robin Hood in 1962 in Robin Hoodie Woody. And then there's my favorite Robin Hood flick, Robin and the Seven Hoods, starring Frank Sinatra in the title role and the rest of the Rat Pack as the Merry Men. And then we had Sean Connery and Audrey Hepburn as Robin and Marian in the 1976 flick, Robin and Marian. Patrick Bergen did a TV version of Robin Hood in 1991, the same year Kevin Costner got laughed out of the theaters for his Robin Hood. And then you've got Carrie Elwes in Men in Tights and a couple of no-name versions, and you're all caught up. Not really, because I counted 68 actual Robin Hood flicks, but I only mentioned the biggies, so don't start writing me letters saying, Joe Bob, you idiot, you forgot about Il Magnifico Robin Hood, made in Spain in 1970, starring Jorge Martin. You know, we're covering the international versions later, okay? Maid Marian in this movie is played by Amy Yazbek, star of Problem Child 1 and 2. And her husband was played by her husband, John Ritter. You guys know who gave Amy Yazbek her big break? Our producer. That's right, the producer of Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night cast her in the daytime version of Love American Style. We all remember that series, don't we? The daytime version. David, how many episodes of Love American Style did you tape each day? 5 episodes per day. Oh, gosh. Phew. Of course, at this show, we consider that rampant Hollywood wasteful excess.
We'll be back with Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night and Robin Hood Men in Tights after these messages.
Some great Mel Brooks action scenes, including the fight between Robin and Little John on the bridge and the castle brawl. It still cracks me up that the sheriff of Rottingham is dyslexic. You know, the character of Little John goes back over 700 years, but it wasn't until the 1620s that the story of Robin Hood meeting him on the log became an accepted part of the story. But everybody knows that, right? Basic Robin Hood history. Just like everybody knows that in the early tales, Robin was a yeoman, which means a working stiff. But in 1598, a guy writing a play for an aristocratic audience transformed him into Robert the Earl of Huntingdon from Locksley. But this is a comedy, so let's just watch Richard Lewis's mole move around some more, okay? Who recognizes Matthew Peretta as Will Scarlett O'Hara? Only the TNT people raised their hands because Matthew played Robin Hood for 2 seasons of The New Adventures of Robin Hood on this very network. Why did we cancel that? Nobody knows, but I have a pretty good idea. Didn't they shoot that over in Poland somewhere? Latvia. Why didn't they use Sherwood Forest? I guess a Latvian forest is cheaper than Sherwood. Actually, I've been to Sherwood Forest, so don't even answer that. I know why they didn't use Sherwood Forest. I have the mug. Did you get the mug or the hat? You can't wear the hat anywhere, so I got the mug.
We'll be
Mel Brooks himself as the Manischewitz dealer, Rabbi Tuckman. Rabbi Tuckman, of course, being based on Friar Tuck. Isn't that cute? And speaking of cute, the cutest male girl in Hollywood is joining us now for Joe Bob's Advice to the Hopeless, where we read your pathetic pleas for help. And by the way, Rusty, how are you enjoying L.A. so far now?
Oh, it's great. My agent just got me a raise.
Your agent? Don't tell me you're an actress now.
Gosh, no, I got a postal agent to help me out with my contract negotiations.
What is the per capita of agents to non-agents in this town?
I don't know. I'd have to ask my agent, I guess. Here's a letter. It's from Chris Webb of Silver City, New Mexico.
New Mexico. Love that state. Okay. Dear Joe Bob, my name is Chris Webb. I'm 11 years old. I watch your show every Saturday. So do my parents and brothers. I don't intend to be mean, but if people don't like your fat jokes, they should either go on a diet or get off their butt. Exercise or shut up. I really enjoy watching your show and listening to your jokes. If you could, I'd very, very much like it if you sent me an autograph something, please. My most favorite movie you show is Creep Show. Here's a picture of people suffocating in the sand. Sure enough, here's the picture. I have to go now, but I'll watch you Saturday. P.S. Remember to send me an autograph something. Sincerely yours, Chris. Chris, thanks for that rousing vote of support in the ongoing battle against grumpy fat people. And excellent drawing, too. I wish we could get this on our website, which, by the way, is tnt.turner.com/joebob. You can also email us at joebob@turner.com. And can you guys see this picture, though? I think I figured what this is. This is a scene from Creep Show. This is the scene where Leslie Nielsen buries his wife and her lover, Ted Danson and Galen Ross. That's probably Ted, and that's Galen, in the sand at low tide. And one of them is saying, "Ah," and the other one is saying, "I love you, darling."
Oh, how creepy.
Hence the title, Creep Show. It should be creepy.
Yeah.
All right, one of the funniest scenes in the flick coming up after the commercials. So, let's get to it.
I think this kid might be psychologically damaged.
No, a little suffocation, that never hurt anybody, especially when you're 11.
We'll be...
Three of the funniest scenes in the movie, all right there together. First, Don DeLuise doing that Brando impression as Don Giovanni from Jersey. And then the blind guy lookout, that's Mark Blankfield as the guy who gets his sight back and then loses it again 5 seconds later. And, of course, the classic Men in Tights production number. Okay, I said I'd cover the foreign versions of Robin Hood, and I wasn't kidding about that. People love Robin Hood. I mentioned earlier the Spanish version, Il Magnifico Robin Hood. The translation's pretty self-explanatory there. The Germans made Robin Hood und sein lüsternen Mädchen, or Robin Hood and His Lusty Young Women. Excellent flick. My favorite Italian Robin Hood movie is Robin Frecce, Fagioli, and Karate, which as far as I can figure out means Robin, arrows, beans, and karate. What can I say? The Brazilian Robin Hood movie is O Misterio de Robin Hood. The great Wen Chao Wu directed the Chinese Robin Hood, which is called The Chinese Robin Hood. The Ruskies flocked to see Strele Robin Gouda, which I believe means Robin Hood's smoked cheese, but I could be wrong. And lastly, India joined the party with Aj Ka Robin Hood. I don't have a translation for that one, but I guarantee you it had squeaky cat screech music and a lot of women with dots on their foreheads in it. Okay, back after the ads. Oh, you guys thought I forgot the Dutch Robin Hood, didn't you? Robin Hood und zijn Schelmen. You really think I'd forget that one? It means Robin Hood sticks his shellman in a dike.
We'll be back with Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night and Robin Hood Men in Tights after these messages.
You just can't go wrong with merry men in drag, can you? According to an academic in English literature over at Cardiff University, Mel Brooks got it right when he wondered if the guys were fegulas. This professor studied 14th century ballads, the oldest ones he could find, and he decided that Robin Hood preferred his merry men to Old Maid Marian. According to this prof, Guy Guy Love was accepted in the 12th century, but in the 13th century, the church drove the homosexuals underground, and he says that the green wood is a symbol of virility, and all the references to arrows and quivers and other phalluses or phalli make it very clear that Robin was sharing his sword with other men, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. And he said that the ballad show Maid Marian didn't exist until 16th century authors wanted the story to be more accessible to hetero readers, also known as breeder readers. This guy sounds like one of those Pee Wee Herman scholars, doesn't he? I'm sure he's not gay. Okay, but anyway, when the Times printed his articles, the gay rights groups were thrilled about him, and the Robin Hood Society had a heart attack. One big group heart attack, just keeled over, clutching their leotards. Very tragic.
We'll be back with Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night and Robin Hood Men in Tights after these messages.
Ah, the old walk this way joke. I never get tired of that one. Of course, this entire movie has Mel Brooks ripping himself off. He did a whole TV series that was a Robin Hood parody back in 1975 called When Things Were Rotten. And from what I hear, it was pretty dang funny, even though it got canceled after just half a season. Okay, up next, 900 references to Blazing Saddles, including the same hangman, Robert Ridgely. And next time the Sheriff of Rottingham comes on, close your eyes and see if you recognize him as the voice of a certain ad campaign. Think air travel. If that doesn't help, think chastity belts.
Joe Bob, are you playing a guessing game?
I'm just doing the show.
'Cause you know how I love to play guessing games.
It's Virgin Airlines. He's the voice of Virgin Airlines. I'll see you guys after the movie. Well, here's a guessing game we could play. Guess where I'm going right now?
I
Bye.
heard you talking about target practice. What does that remind you of, dear? Bullseye.